like we're on Periscope's on, Facebook's up, and YouTube's up. So that's good. So I'm glad about that. I'm glad to see that those live streams up online. Okay, once again, good morning. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Saturday, September 14th. We're going to be going over today's news headlines. So if you're here on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch, please, we welcome you. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you may be, East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. We're on the air on our restream. So if you want to come in and talk to me about any sports topic today, feel free to do so. But also, you also have to do it in a respectful manner. So please observe all rules that we have in here. No, be honest with you, no personal attacks on anyone. No political activities up in here, and no, you have to be respectful to me because I am running this broadcast, and you have to. So just please, you observe the rules, and you'll be fine. So we're also posting to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer page. So if you want to come in and talk to me today, come on down. We're on the air. So we're waiting for anybody to come in. We'll go over some headlines. Let's go ahead. Let's go over some score updates in college football. Let's do that. So let's begin with college football updates at this hour at almost noon. So let's go ahead and begin going over college football scores. Let's see if they can hear me. Let's do that. So we're on. So scoreboard update on everything is on your screen. Georgia is up 20 to nothing against Arkansas State. 12-12 left to play in the second quarter. Also, Ohio State is up 7-3. How you doing? Good afternoon. 7 p.m. Angelo. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Let me put that in there so you know. 7 p.m. Angelo's in there. See if I got it in the screen. Yeah, everything's on. So Ohio State up 7-3. Ohio State has 3rd at the 44-yard line. Also, Pittsburgh is scoreless. Also, Temple is up 7-2. It's like a low-scoring game, but with a safety and a couple of runs scored, that's 7-2. Temple on top. Also, let's give you the top 25 games. 1:30 Notre Dame will take on New Mexico. Alabama will take on South Carolina. That will be at 2:30. Also, Central Florida will take on Stanford. Also, USC will take on BYU. That will be at 2:30. Also, it will be Michigan State taking on Arizona State. Also, at 3 p.m., Iowa State. Yes. Yep, just scored. Yes. It is now 13-3 Ohio State. That's a touchdown. So we're watching it on the screen. Touchdown Ohio State. So it's 14-3 Ohio State. That's the point pennant, and it was good. So 14-3 Ohio State. Now let's get back to the other college football schedule today. Iowa will take on Iowa State. Also, I forgot this one. Michigan State will take on Arizona State. Also, Utah will take on Idaho State as I think FCS school. Kent State will take on Auburn. They're going to be playing at 6 p.m. Also, Florida and Kentucky will play at 6 p.m. as well. Lamar versus Texas A&M, 6 p.m. as well. Syracuse versus Clemson, 6:30. Clemson is favored by 27 points to win this game. Also, it's LSU taking on Northwestern State. That'll be a 6:30 game. Also, it will be Washington State taking on Hawaii. That will be 6:30 out in Seattle. Also, it will be Virginia taking on Florida State. Virginia is 25 in the poll. Also, Oklahoma will take on UCLA, 7 p.m. in Pasadena. Also, Rice will take on Texas. That will be in Houston. Also, it will be Boise State taking on Portland State. That will be a 9:15 game late at night. Also at 9:45 will be Oregon will take on Montana. Last night, Washington State defeated Houston by the final of 31-24. So that is the college football top 25 update. Let's give you the all the FBS updates as well. Screenshots. Okay, let's scroll down. Okay, it is Miami, Ohio on top 10-7. Also, Tennessee up 28-0. That's in the second. First and 10 at the 18-yard line. Also, it is Mississippi State down 10-0 to Kansas State. Mississippi State has second and 7 at the 15-yard line. Also, Virginia Tech up 7-3. Virginia Tech has second and 6 at 14-yard line. So they are so that's Furman. Excuse me. Correction, Furman. So Furman third and 7 at the 15. So Furman has the football. I say it's a 29. It's going to be a very big, about 29 points. So I'll look that up for LSU. 29-point favorites in a game versus Northwestern State, because Northwestern State is an FCS school, and it's going to be even higher. So let's give you West Virginia, North Carolina State is tied up at 14, touchdown by North Carolina State. Also, it is Illinois taking on Eastern Michigan, 13-19 left to play. It is 17-14. Citadel up 7-0. Citadel has the ball at the 19-yard line, 3rd and 4. Also, it is Colorado up is scoreless, 3rd and 2 at the 33-yard line. Also, Florida Atlantic will take on Ball State. Coastal Carolina will take on Norfolk. We'll go ahead and scroll down. Central Michigan will take on Akron. We'll scroll down again. Navy versus East Carolina. East Carolina is a 7-point underdog in that game. Also, South Alabama will take on Memphis. Memphis is a 20-point favorite in that game as well. Also, Army takes on UTSA. That will be in the Alamo Dome. 16-point favorite for Army. So that's against UTSA. Also, Georgia Southern will take on Minnesota. Minnesota is a 16-point favorite in that football game. Also, Northwestern will take on UNLV. Northwestern is an 18-point favorite at home. Also, Tulsa will take on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a 14-point favorite going into that football game. Southeastern will take on Ole Miss. That will be in Oxford. No point spread on that game due to Southeastern being an FCS school, so it might be higher. So it might be about 30 or something like that. So they only have point spreads for the FBS opponents. If the FBS opponents are playing the FBS opponents, they will publish the point spreads. But if they're playing FCS, no. They might put the point spreads out, but they kind of don't touch those games. So also Arkansas will take on Colorado State. Louisville will take on Western Kentucky. Louisville is a 10-point favorite. I'm looking at it showing it on my screen. Also, Miami will take on Bethune-Cookman. No point spread available for that one. Also, North Texas and Cal. Cal is a 14-point favorite at home. Also, Cal Poly and Oregon State. No point spread available. Once again, due to the reason that the FCS don't put out point spread for their games and stuff like that. Louisiana Tech will take on Bowling Green. That's up in Bowling Green, Ohio. 11-point favorite for Louisiana Tech. Also, Wyoming taking on Idaho. No point spread available, so we don't see none. See, if you don't see point spread on there, I have to explain it to everybody, because the FCS doesn't put out point spreads for when they play FBS opponents. So, all right, Buffalo will take on Liberty. Liberty is a 6-point underdog. Also, South Carolina State will take on South Florida. No point spread available for that game. Charlotte will take on UMass. Charlotte is a 20-point favorite. Southern Miss will take on Troy. Troy is a 3-point favorite. They're at home. Also, Marshall will take on Ohio. Marshall is a 4.5-point favorite because they're at home. FIU taking on New Hampshire. No point spread available. Also, Texas State will take on SMU. SMU is a 17-point favorite versus the Texas State Bobcats. Also, Nevada, no point spread available due to, once again, they don't have them available. So, also, Toledo taking on Murray State. Once again, no point spreads on that one. Also, Duke will take on Middle Tennessee. Duke is a 6-point favorite in that game. So once again, if you, like I said, if you're an LSU fan and if you're looking for point spreads, please don't ask for them, because they don't have them. Because due to the fact that the FCS do not put out any point spreads of versus FBS opponents. So Purdue is playing TCU. TCU is a 2-point favorite. Also, Southeast Missouri State takes on Missouri. Texas Southern will take on ULL. That's going to probably be a high-scoring game, a high blowout game there. Nebraska taking on Northern Illinois. 14-point favorite from Nebraska. Once again, Tulane will take on Missouri State. That game will be on ESPN3. If you want to watch that game, you have to have ESPN subscription because that's an internet service. The ESPN Plus is the standalone service. So if you have a subscription to ESPN, you can get it on your computer. You could probably put it on your TV or something like that, and you'll be able to watch it on there. So that's the okay. Once again, North Carolina lost last night, 24-18. Les Miles gets his second win of the season. They win 48-24. So that is your college football updates. While we're okay, we're going to give you Major League Baseball updates while we're let's go ahead and do that. Let's give you a Major League Baseball update. Okay, Major League Baseball scoreboard at this hour. Just 12:10. Minnesota will take on Cleveland. That's a doubleheader today due to the rain out last night. Chicago will take on Pittsburgh. That will be in Chicago. Also, the Blue Jays will take on the New York Yankees. Also, the Atlanta Braves will take on the Washington Nationals. That will be at 3:05 Central. So, Randy, your game will be at 3:05. If you watch this broadcast, 3:05 is your time. Also, Baltimore will take on Detroit. That will be 5:10. Boston will take on Philadelphia. That will be 6:05. Also, the Los Angeles Dodgers will take on the New York Mets. That will be at 6:10. Also, Cleveland will take on Minnesota at 6:10 as well due to the rain out. Also, the Houston Astros will take on the Kansas City Royals. That will be at 6:15. Also, 6:15, the Cardinals will take on the Brewers. Also, the Oakland A's will take on the Texas Rangers. Also, the Cincinnati Reds will take on the Arizona D-backs. Also, Colorado will take on San Diego. Also, the Marlins will take on the Giants. Also, the Angels will take on the Rays. And also, the White Sox will take on the Seattle Mariners. So let's give you the MLB standings before we go on to our news headlines today. Okay, standings as we go, as we speak for the New York Yankees are at 97-52. Tampa Bay is 9 games out. So I'm pretty sure they will be in the wild card slot. Minnesota is 89-57. Cleveland is 86-61. They're only 3 games out of the divisional lead. Also, the Houston Astros are 7 games ahead of the Oakland A's in the West. Now in the National League East, Atlanta is at 92-57. Washington's 9 games out. So that's going to be most likely decidable right there. So also the Cubs are 4 games out of the division lead in the Central. St. Louis has a comfortable 4-game lead against the Chicago Cubs. Milwaukee's 5 games out. The LA Dodgers right now they're going to be in the playoffs. Definitely, they did clinch the division, so congratulations to them. So we'll give you the divisional wildcard standings. Let's give you those just a second. I'm going to switch that out. Okay, wildcard standings as we go. Oakland has the 0.5 and a half game lead on Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay will most likely get in. Same thing with Cleveland. They will get into the AL wild card. Also, Washington is 2.5 ahead in the wild card race. Also, the Cubs will be most likely will be in. So the Cubs are definitely going to be in. Also, the St. Louis Cardinals, if they win the division, they'll be the division leader going into the playoffs. Also, Milwaukee has a 1-game disadvantage, so they're 1 game out of the playoffs. Philadelphia is 2. Philadelphia is 2 games out. So I'll be honest with you, look, it's going to be a pretty good race going down the stretch towards the end of the season for Major League Baseball. So that's how it's going to go. So if I was to bet if the season would end today, I'd say Washington will be in. I'm pretty sure the Cubs will be in the wild card. Also, if Milwaukee can win a couple more games and gain some ground, I'm pretty sure they'll most likely sneak in as the last team in for the wild card. So that is from ESPN.com. Okay, let's go over some high school football scores from last night. We're going to go over them again. If you missed them, we will do them once more again today. We'll do the high school football scoreboard once more again. So I don't know why they not giving me. I don't understand this. I don't know why the scoreboard's not up there. So I don't know why. Now we're probably going to have to use the other one. So sorry, we're just this service temporary busy. So they kind of. I think it's busy with scores and stuff like that. So the servers are very busy right now. So we're not be able to get in. So sorry about the situation. But we do have other sites we can go to and look at high school football scoreboard. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that site up on my screen. Okay, this is from scorestream.com. Scorestream.com is a site devoted to sports, high school sports as well. So we'll go over those games from last night. Let's begin. Rumble defeated Slidell 37-0. That was last night game. Also, Charlie Catholic defeated Hannon 49-8. Games going on today. Riverdale will take on West St. John. St. Aug will take on Warren Easton. Also, Chalmette will take on Sophie B. Wright. That will be at Pan Am Stadium. That will be at 7 p.m. So if you're a Chalmette fan, you want to go there, it will be at Pan Am Stadium tonight, 7 p.m. So that will be going on due to scheduling conflicts last Friday night with the stadium and stuff like that. I don't know what happened with that. They were supposed to play last night, but no. They had a little scheduling issues, so that game will be tonight. Other finals from yesterday: Destrehan defeated Walker 48-21. De La Salle defeated Country Day 49-13. Up in Gulfport, Mississippi, Picayune defeated Gulfport 54-47. It was Santa Mont defeating East Jefferson 48-20. Also, Livingston Collegiate defeated Norfolk Christian. That score was probably not up when we went off the air. We'll give you that score. It was 14-13. Livingston defeating North Lake Christian. Belle Chase defeated Shaw 28-14. Also, Pearl River defeated Thomas Jefferson 45-20. Brother Martin defeated Carver 10-0. Cy Academy loses to Covington Christian 22-0. Thibodeau defeated South Lafourche 12-3. Bonneville loses 44-7 to Newman. Dutchtown defeated McNain 38-0. Holy Cross won 24-14. So next week the matchup will. The rivalry will continue. Chalmette versus Holy Cross. That will be next Friday night at Bobby Nuss. So they'll be here next Friday night. Also, St. Paul's defeated Jesuit 19-14. This game right here, I'm going to tell you, this game, I was listening to these game reporters yesterday on the original and also the All-State Sugar Bowl Prep Football Roundup. They was talking about this game, how this game was low scoring with both teams scoring safeties and stuff like that. So I'll be honest with you. Look, St. Paul, look, these games, look, they're going to get slow and sloppy and stuff like that. So also, Luxor Charter defeated Higgins 40-25. Central Lafourche defeated Franklin 56-16. Also, it was Springfield Springfield winning 39-6 over Cohen. Also, Salmon winning 34-14. Ben Franklin losing 49-26. Grace King defeating Fisher out in Lafitte 27-6. And that is the trying to say that's more scores. So we'll just we'll go over, we'll view more content. Okay, these are more scores from yesterday. Hanville defeated Mandeville 34-13. Edie White defeating H.L. Bourgeois 28-7. It was Lakeshore defeating South Plaquemine 56-16. Also, it was Franklinton defeating Fontainebleau 41-35. Kenner Discovery, that's the new charter school in Kenner, losing 43-6 to Bay High School in Bay St. Louis. Also, St. Charles Catholic winning 23-21. St. Michael's winning 21-6. Also, St. James winning 30-13. Also, Booker T. Washington defeating John F. Kennedy. That's 36-15. Ponchatoula winning 31-24. Also, Stone County, that's in Wiggins, winning 29-17. Also, it was St. Martin Episcopal winning 27-0. It was Riverside losing 35-22 to Assumption Catholic. Also, in Biloxi last night, Pope John Paul II loses to St. Patrick's Catholic Irish team 21-7. St. Martin and Ocean Springs, Mississippi defeated Pearl River Central. That was in they're from Carrier 41-28. Centerville, that's in Centerville, Louisiana, defeated Haynes 35-14. Carr defeated McDonough 34-14. Also, West Jefferson, the other night, that was on Thursday night football, Douglas defeated West Jefferson. Today, John Curtis will take on Westlake. That will be in not Westlake, Louisiana, Westlake in Georgia. That's in Atlanta. That's on the Battle of the Border. If you want to watch that game, you can go to, I have the links posted on my Facebook page. Just go and find that link to John Curtis and Westlake. That's going to be the Battle on the Border. Also, Helen Cox will take on John Eric. So that is your high school football. Okay, also, I want to pass along the volleyball score. Tulane defeated Ohio State 3-1. That's in the volleyball match for the Lady Wave. So we're going to go over some news headlines. Let's go over CFL football from last night. We forgot to do that, so we'll do that today. CFL football. I'm going to talk about this game right here. So I'm going to go over this score right here. So let me get my score, my Canadian football scores. Okay, Canadian football from last night. BC defeated Ottawa 29-5. So right now they are 2-10. They only have on a one-game winning streak. Other games today in Canadian football: Calgary will take on Hamilton. Also, Saskatchewan will take on Montreal. So that is your. We'll give you scoring plays and stuff like that. Just give you a scoring play on this game. 29-5 was your 5 was your final. Let's give you the official scoring plays. Scoring plays began in the first quarter. BC did score at the 11:58 mark, so it was 7-0 BC. Also, It was 13-0 on a 28-yard touchdown pass. 5:02 was the scoring time. It was 14-0. BC on top. In the second quarter, BC scored again. It was on a 3-yard run, made it 21-0 with the extra point. Ottawa did score on a field goal 32 yards away, 21-3. It was also 27-3 BC on a 27-3 on a 1-yard run. Also, extra point was good. It was 28-3. Also in the fourth quarter, BC had a safety, so it was a 51-yard punt, no return single. It was 29-3, but BC got a safety. It was 29-5. So that was the score, 29-5. Let's give you the breakdown statistics. Okay. BC had 22 first downs, 12 passing, 8 rushing, 2 on penalties, third down efficiency. Ottawa was 2 for 3. BC was 0 for 1, so they wasn't that good on third downs. Let's see. Ottawa had 51 plays in the game. BC used 53. Yards per play was 8.1 for BC and 6.0 for Ottawa. Passing the football, BC had 20 of 29 passing, 9.9 average. They ran for 142 yards. It was 5.9 on that average. They had no rushing touchdowns. They had no red zone opportunities. Penalties was 9 penalties for 55 yards for BC and 7 for Ottawa. Time of possession, BC had the ball for 32 minutes and 15 seconds. Ottawa 27-45. Okay, Ottawa passing. Jennings had 239 yards. He had 2 interceptions. Rushing, Jennings had 8 carries for 37 yards. Receiving, Rhymes had 5 catches for 113. Madu, I'm saying his name right, Madu. He had 5 catches for 49 yards. Let's go over to the BC side. Mike Riley had 20 of 29 passes, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He also had 4 carries for 31 yards. Rootley had 20 carries for 111. He had a 5.6 average. Also, Burnham had 9 catches for 95 yards. He went up to 10. Durant had 4 catches for 87 yards. So that's the breakdown of BC versus the Ottawa Red Blacks. So once again, BC wins 29-5 in their game. So that's they will. So the other games will be later on this afternoon into the even hours. So for football. So we'll go ahead and go over some news headlines while we this is via TSN.com. TSN.com is out of Canada. Let's go ahead and give you go ahead and start going over sports headlines on locally on NOLA.com, also The Advocate. Communication execution keys as Saints offensive line eyes Rams matchup nightmare of Aaron Donald. That's the biggest concern right there. Is Aaron Donald, because I'm gonna be honest with you, look, if you can contain him with some substantial blocking patterns and stuff like that, you can keep him off a breeze all day long. But if you fail to do so, guess what? He's gonna come after Breeze all day long. And I'm not telling you this just to say this just to scare you to death. I'm just warning you what could happen if your offensive line doesn't block. That's period, end of story. I know people don't like to hear stuff like this, but the truth of the matter is, it's got to be told. So I'll be honest with you, this guy is going to be a very reluctant defensive pass rusher for the Los Angeles Rams. So that's the concern right there I have going into this game this tomorrow when the Saints play the Rams. So once again, this is from Herbie TEOPE. You can reach him at the Advocate/Times Picayune. And also, don't forget Clay Matthews. That's another guy we're going to be concerned about is Clay Matthews. This guy, I'm going to tell you, look, this is something right here. You're going to have these guys, they're going to be a concern. So, once again, we have to have those good blocking patterns. If you can go slide protections and stuff like that, that will keep those guys off Breeze. That's what you have to do in this game. Is control that offense, that line of scrimmage. Yeah, that the battle's won in the trenches. It's not won on throwing the pass and running the football. It's won in the trenches. That our offensive line has to control these guys coming in and making significant blitz packages or pass rush plays to come after Breeze. So that's what I'm trying to say to people on this broadcast at 12:32 Central Time here on a Saturday afternoon. So that's what we have to do is have a significant pass coverage for the defensive line of the Los Angeles Rams. So once again, this is from Amy Just. You can reach her at NOLA.com. Let me go back to my sports page and see what else we're going to talk about today in this broadcast. So I got it up on my screen again. Okay, let's talk about Comp, Brandon Cooks, and Woods. So this is another situation we're going to be talking about is these three wide receivers. Cooper Comp, Brandon Cooks, and Robert Wood. That's those two wide receivers you have to cover. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If they get loose, DeAndre Hopkins was 10 times as bad, but you ain't seen nothing yet with these guys. These three guys can make your secondary stretch out. And that's one thing about it. I'm not trying to, but we have to find a way to contain these people. We have to find a way. Because if you don't find a way to contain them, shut them down, keep them, they did a pretty good job on DeAndre Hopkins last week. But this is another challenge. This is another week of football. I'm very happy what they did with Hopkins last week. But look, you're facing a different challenge in these guys. The Rams are fifth in passing yards per game with 281 yards, and also fourth in average yards per reception, 7.93. That is something right there, 7.93 in average yards. So these guys, I'm going to tell you, these three guys we're talking about today. Look, they pose a threat. They pose a threat to our secondary and our defense. Cooks finished with 1,204 yards. He had 80 receptions. Also, Woods hauled in 1,219 yards and also 86 catches. Also, Comp, that's Kupp, had 40 receptions. So I'm going to tell you, these guys can put up those numbers. And it's going to be a challenge now. I know a lot of fans are going to get on there and say the different stories and stuff like that. That's them. But we're stating facts here. We're not stating lies and bullshit. We're stating facts here. I'm not here. I don't do these shows to tell you what you need to hear. I tell you what you need to understand and know. That's what I tell you. Because these guys can make some plays. And I think, look, if you shut this guy, those three down like they did Hawkins, you'll have a better chance of getting off that field on third down. So, but if you don't, they will make those catches, and also they will prolong drives as well for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm not trying to be Mr. Buzzkill, trying to tell you to look out. But I'm telling you, just if you're watching this game, our secondary has to be aware of what's going on. Full awareness. So, once again, this is from Amy Just. You can reach her at the Advocate/Times-Picayune. Far overdue statue of legacy coach Skip Bertman was unveiled at Alex Box Stadium. I think this is very long overdue for Coach Bertman. When he turned his team into champions after winning the first 5 championships for LSU. That's one thing. Look, I'm glad to see that statue up. This is a picture of it right here. We're showing it to you right here. We'll go another one. This is second one, and that's the Legends Legacy Plaza. So I think this is well deserved for Coach Bertman. So once again, this is from Wilson Alexander. You can reach him at the Baton Rouge Advocate. That's the Baton Rouge Advocate. Okay, let's talk about this. This is very important for everybody to need to know. LSU Northwestern TV broadcast caught in the middle of a dispute between Disney and so let's go back up. So I'll be honest with you. They caught between ESPN and AT&T. So I hope they do resolve this, because they're putting a lot of people who wants to watch the LSU games, especially tonight against the Northwestern State Demons. They're putting a lot of people in jeopardy. I'll be honest with you. This is not something. Look, these cable companies and stuff like that are all for the money. They're not worried about the fan and stuff like that. Because look, those days of serving the fan, it's out the window. It's all about this. It's all about money with this situation. I'm hoping that they do resolve this, because a lot of people will be pissed tonight if they can't get to watch the LSU game on Uverse, which I have. Also DirecTV, which everybody else in the entire Greater New Orleans area has as well. If you're on Cox, you're fine. if you're on Spectrum Charter, you'll be fine. But this is attention to the Uverse customers, and also DirecTV customers, and also AT&T Now customers, the streaming service ones. So I look at it this way. Look, next Saturday's game, LSU. So that will be with our contract with AT&T for ABC, Disney, and Freedom Forum Network is due to expire soon. So please call your cable company and request that you have SEC Network stay on the air for the foreseeable future. So that's look. Just call your company if you're with DirecTV, if you're with AT&T Uverse, or if you're an AT&T TV Now subscriber. Please call your company because we need SEC Network on the air. Because look, if LSU goes to SEC Network, some of the time they're going to rotate around. But this is very serious business situation right here. Look, you gotta act before it's too late. So once again, this is from Brooks Navina. You can reach him at the Advocate. Okay, Railway, we talked about that. We talked about the LSU. Let's talk about, let's show you the article, Holy Cross fast start. So they're off to a good start, Holy Cross. So this game, this is going to be important. The LSU Chalmette to knock them off next Friday. Greg LeCont's message, his team ordered to get the first win of the season. So they're off to a good start. So they're going to be coming in hyped up about this game next Friday. So I'll be honest with you, look, can't have any significant mistakes against this team. Because Holy Cross, I'm going to tell you, the last couple of years, this series between Chalmette and Holy Cross, look, it's been close games. It's been very close football games. So this is going to be no exception this year. So once again, this is from Treasure Washington. You can reach him at the Treasure Washington at twashington at theadvocate.com. Okay, let's see what else we're going to talk about. Okay, I'm going to see what we're at. 48 minutes inside the show. Okay, we have not much. So these articles are. So we'll go over to sports headlines. Switch this over. Okay, sportsheadlines.com. We're going over some more headlines. Let me go ahead and get this switched out. So we'll go over to sportsheadlines.com. Let's give you what's going on. This is the Dallas Morning News. Even behind Jason Witten, Blake Jarwin should have a bigger season than the Cowboys' backup tight end in the past. So this is what they're talking about in their column tonight. This morning. I get my days. This is from Kevin Shurigan. You can reach him at the Dallas Morning News. They talk about Blake Jarwin is going to have a bigger season than Jason Witten. I'm pretty sure. Most likely will behind that tight end spot. So I'll be honest with you. Look, Jason Witten, sure, he retired, I think, last year and just came back to football. But the truth of the matter is you have to have other people take turns and make plays. So I'm pretty sure these two tight ends will make significant plays for the Dallas Cowboys. So once again, this is from the Dallas Morning News. You can go to dallasmorningnews.com. That's dallasmorningnews.com. Okay, let's give you information. See what else we're talking about. Okay. See what this is. This is at 12 o'clock. Came out. This is from the Lancashire. Trying to say accept. So this is from Rick. Rich Sharp is the reporter for the Lancashire Telegraph. That's out of the United Kingdom. That's in Europe. So they talk about these. This is one of their articles. They're talking about Williams and Dak on target as Rovers get back into their winning ways. So that's somewhat Rovers. So this is a soccer column right here. So once again, this is from the Lancashire. I'm trying to say it's Lancaster. It's a little hard to pronounce, but it's from there. Okay, let's go ahead and see what this is about. We got news popping up everywhere. Came out at 12:24. This is from DNC News. One rejection as possible opponent for generous. Trying to spell this guy's name, and also Jamie Munder. It's hard name to pronounce, but I'm looking at this is what we're showing you. This is the headline we're showing you right here. So if you want to comment about this article, if you're a boxing fan of these two boxers, you can comment about them. You can go to Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. We will follow. We will monitor you on Restream. So on all four networks. So this is one of the. This is from DAZN News. You can follow them at DAZN News. This is from Andreas Hale. You can follow her on Twitter as well. Okay, let's give you see what's going on. I'm looking at all the headlines and stuff on the screen. So if you like this, this is from Sports Headlines. You can go to sportsheadlines.co. That's sportsheadlines.co. Let's see what's going on in Twitterverse. Okay, this is what we're showing you on the Twitterverse today. This is from Michigan. So we'll show you this. Kids rally around him. He just influenced. They've never seen before. This is from. Let's give you this information. Okay, this is from the USA Today. Here, Michigan high school football player captain. Captains his team and dominates opponents. I think this is good. A good feel-good story for these individuals out of Michigan. This is in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. These are Bloomfield Hill high school football players. Gather around Coach Dan LaRoa. I'm trying to say his name. And all eyes were fixed on their football coach. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad. Kudos to these individuals that are deaf. That's the reason why disability has no leaps and bounds. Look, you can do whatever you want and dominate. Look, these two guys in this article are no exception to the rule. Look, I commend these two individuals. Sure, they use sign language and stuff like that. They have to have an interpreter and stuff like that. But look, these guys will dominate the football field. So that's good. I like to see that. Look, I see a lot of these stories like this. No, this makes me happy right here to see that a person with a disability is not underestimated. That's the thing about that. Whether they're deaf, whether they're Down syndrome, whether they're autistic, or whether they have a certain disability, it knows those leaps and bounds in sports. So once again, this is from um, USA Today. Okay, let's see what else they're going to update on Virginia Tech. It is once again 14-3. This is from Dan Watkins. You can reach him at Dan Watkins. That's an update right there. And also, we're looking at other. Okay, this is from Sports Illustrated. It is still 7-2 at the end of the second quarter. That's in the Maryland and Temple game. Okay, this is one of the signs we're showing you. Bring back. This is on College Game Day this morning. Bring back video game. I think they should bring it back. I couldn't agree more with them neither. That's one thing. Look, when they first came out, NCAA football and stuff like that, these video games with these college football players in them and stuff like that. Look, I think it's good that they should bring back video games. So this is from Twitter. This is what we're showing you. Okay, see what else we'll be talking about here. Okay, let's give you okay, Terry Bradshaw. He is on the Fox NFL Sunday panel. This is his article. This is from Chris B-A-C-A. This is he says, I can't stand players like Brown. He wouldn't throw to him. Look, I'll be honest with you. Look, Antonio Brown is the biggest crybaby of all time. Crying about the fucking helmet issue. That, look, it's unfair and all that. No. These NFL players, look, they put these rules in there for a reason. I mean, sure. I mean, I don't like these rules, but the truth of the matter is, look, we got to learn to live with them. We cannot just cry about it and get on social media and just waste people's time. Look, Terry Bradshaw was no exception. Look, back in those days, they used to stomp on your feet. They used to punch you and all that stuff. That's what that was football back then, but it's changed now. This is what Terry Bradshaw say. I'm going to highlight it so you can see it. I will not put up with that kind of behavior. You don't win with it. That's true. What he's saying, that is 100% true. What he's saying, if you have a piss poor attitude like he has, look, you're not going to win. You're not going to win Super Bowls. You're not going to get into the playoffs. So I kind of, once again, I kind of don't like what Terry Bradshaw says at times, but the truth of the matter is, I will agree on what he's saying about Antonio Brown. So he made, just like the LeBron Bell situation, that was another drama central distraction. And also the Antonio Brown situation. So, look, it's the best of both worlds. So, when you look at it, let New England have him. Bradshaw says he may become Billy Graham. I don't know. Well, yeah, that's something right there. Look, this is from, once again, USA Today. You can reach. This is the guy's name right here that put it out. Okay, we'll go over some more stuff that's trending on Twitter. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Okay, Coach Pop, bitch. Let's see what this is. Okay, this is from For the Win, forthewin.com. This is also associated with USA Today. Greg Popovich is never wrong, but he is super wrong about the Team USA critics. Look, just Team USA just wrapped up a 7th-place finish in the World Cup after beating Poland, excuse me, after beating Poland. Also, just let them say it. That was not a performance we come to expect from Americans. Look, despite a poor finish, Craig Pop ripped the critics of the squad, saying that their imminent and arrogance assume. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of gonna take the side of the people that's look. I know he's kind of wrong. He's not wrong on certain issues, but when you criticize this team, I mean when they got emulate and arrogance that would assume the U.S. that would coast. So look, this 7th-place finish, I'm gonna be honest with you, wasn't something we expect all the time and demand. Because Coach Popovich, look, he coached this team. Look, he coached this team, and I know they got a lot of people out there that say stupid things to get people pissed off and stuff like that on social media. But the truth of the matter is, look, you got to listen to what you can control, not what the critics tell you, because the critics are just out there. They're all out there. They're all hiding under their social media platforms and stuff like that, and that's what they do. Look, I mean, look, you can't blame it on a piss poor performance. So they had a very piss poor performance in the World Cup. So look, I hope in the near future that they look. I was totally 100% against the NBA players playing in World Cup international play, because that can denigrate their chances. If they get hurt, that would denigrate their chances of playing in the regular season. So look, I kind of agree with him on certain issues. Don't get me wrong, but look, this right here, look, this is something I have to kind of take a neutral side on this one. So look, I got to take a neutral side. So that's what I mean, sure. 7th place, like I said, once again, it's not something to be proud of and stuff like that. But look, I got to take the side of the fans. I got to side with the fans on this one. So once again, this is from For the Win. That's with USA Today. And let's see. So we'll see what else we're going to talk about in this broadcast. Okay. So we're just going through the Twitter tweets and see what they're talking about in on Twitter via these networks. Okay. So I think we covered everything. Let's go ahead and shut this off. Okay, once again, this concludes Saturday edition of Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Saturday, September 14th. We'll be back on the air later on this evening for the Tulane versus Missouri State game. We will be in the stands. We'll have the Facebook on. We'll have the live broadcast and play-by-play. So we will be in the stands tonight for Tulane and Missouri State. That game will begin at 7 p.m. Once again, if you want to watch that game, you have to have watch ESPN. You have to have the ESPN cable subscription in order to get that game. You can get the game, but it will be on ESPN3. So that will be, just go to watchespn.com and get the broadcast. So we will have, but we will have the view from the stands tonight. So we will have it tonight. So once again, like, share, and subscribe. Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show, Facebook, WordPress, Instagram, Tumblr, and also Reddit. Also, if you want to Skype me or Google Hangout, you can, the email addresses that's on your screen for those components. Also, if you want to email me, once again, everything is on top of your screen. So everybody, once again, have a good rest of your Saturday afternoon, and we'll be back later for Tulane and Missouri State. Everybody have a good day.